Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video is a Black Library review. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at one of the many publications brought out by Black Library and giving you our thoughts on the book, audio drama, whatever it happens to be. Now, I will say that we will try to keep this review to as spoiler free as possible, though there will obviously be points where we talk about things happening in the book. We will try to keep away from saying any of the major plot points, so you can go and read this book for yourself. We'll just give you our thoughts on whether or not we think it is something you may be interested in. So we'll use this video to instruct you on maybe is this sort of going to be a book that you would like to see. With that all said and out the way, let's get cracking on. Let's talk a little bit about the book that we have reviewed this time. In today's video, we are going to check out Titanicus by Dan Abnett. Now, as always, I generally listen to the audiobooks as I'm generally listening to them while I'm painting, doing other things, putting models together, etc. And this one is narrated by Toby Longsworth. I don't think I've listened to anything narrated by Toby Longsworth, but he did a really great job at bringing this world to life and making all the characters distinct. Now, I will say that Titanicus is an older book. This is a re-release in audio drama format recently, and originally was released all the way back in 2008 by Dan Abnett. I actually remember reading this book in high school when it first came out, and I haven't read it in, well, that's a long time ago, we'll go with that, even for someone that's not quite as old as I guess people think I am, but it was really nice to go back, have a re-listen to it. Toby Longsworth did a really good job at bringing Dan Abnett's words to life. With that said, let's get cracking on and let's chat about the book. Titanicus was a load of fun, just a heads up. And so, setting the scene for Titanicus. Titanicus is set on a Vital Forge world called Orestes, when it comes under attack by a legion of Chaos Titans. When this happens, the planet is forced to seek help, and the Titans of Legio Invictica, fresh out of their own battles, come to the call of aid. Now, this should be noted that this story also is sort of an offshoot, ties in somewhat with the Sabbath Worlds Gaunt Ghost style stories. It's sort of related in all of that. It's in that little pocket universe within 40k. So really, really cool stuff, like focusing around something sort of tied in there. But Titanicus is all about the engine war on Orestes between these Chaos and these Imperial Titans. And so, what is this book's purpose? And, well, the book goes to great lengths to show us exactly what a Titan War is like. And not just from the aspect of the Titans, it gives us a really good look. We see inside and outside battle scenes of Titans, along with, I guess, the politicking and all of that of the Titans during war. We see people getting put into their Titans and the crews and how they sort of work together, and the machine spirits playing their part in it as well. But we also see people on the ground level as well. We see politicians, soldiers, civilians, and heaps of other stuff all on the ground level as well, which I think really makes this novel so great. The Titans are cool, and like seeing and reading and hearing about Titans is awesome in itself, but seeing how they affect and how they sort of play around with these other sort of characters that aren't Titans as well really does give that true impression of what these things truly are, these monstrously amazingly massive monstrosities that they are, how big they are. And we generally follow the stories, whether it's a Titan pilot or a PDF trooper, we follow the stories pretty much of all of them just trying to make it out of a Titan war alive. And of course, throughout the story, some of them fare better than others, and there is a lot of stories going on within this book, really just trying to show a broad stroke of different types of scenes and different types of feelings and narratives across a Titan war. Now, main character-wise, this one is hard for me because I honestly cannot remember them all. I can remember the stories, and there is so many names within this book. This is perhaps a little bit hard to follow and remember. There are ones that definitely stick out for me. I think, for me, I've sort of just written down the sort of groups because, like I said, this follows a wide variety of stories, some more than others across this. And so we've sort of got a group of professional troopers. One of the groups is a more professional military unit, or what's left of a professional military unit. And they've come across a couple of civilians as well, and that's sort of a one of the particular groups we follow for a period of time. Perhaps the one that I truly felt the most connection to and I remember the most about is the New Blood PDF troopers, these Planetary Defense Force soldiers. Callie ends up becoming a leader from them out of just circumstance. People trust her. She's a really nice sort of person that doesn't want to lead, but everyone sort of trusts her to make the decisions for them. And so they are one of the groups. Her and Roblaw, a Mechanicus agent that she's working with, is definitely probably, I think, my most memorable group. We've got the Men in the Hive, which actually ends up being Callie's husband. Back in the Hive, he sort of gets himself into a little bit of trouble. We've got the Planetary Governor, and then we've got the Magos and everything that goes down in the manufacturer behind all of the Titan War. There's some rifts in amongst the different people within the good guys side of the Mechanicum. And then we've got the views of many different Titan pilots. We get to see Warhounds, Reavers, Imperators, and Warlord Titans, all manned by different sorts of characters. It's a really, really broad stroke look. I don't think any of these could be classed as the main character. Like I said, for me, Callie definitely stood out for me as the main character, for me as the one I felt the most connected to as a plotline character. They were the most relatable, I think, out of any of them, because they were just literally you or me thrown into the lines of fire with this. She'd never done a proper tour of service or anything with a guard before. She's just a PDF thrown into her first war because there's Titans on her planet. But you might connect with someone different, but there's just a lot of different storylines going on here. And so what does Titanicus do? Well, for me, it shows the scale and power of these Titans, these god engines, so well. It shows the cold and calculating and doctrinal aspect of the Mechanicus as well. These sort of machine-like people, or more machine than people, I guess, is what the Mechanicus is. And it shows sort of the political background behind all of that and their different beliefs on how, what is the Omnissiah, what is the God Emperor, are they the same thing? It really does go deep down that rabbit hole within the story, which I think is really interesting. But most of all, showing how regular people feel in an engine war, from the person inside the Hive City to the PDF troopers, Callie and all of that, to even the professional troopers squad we follow as well. All of them feel like they're just so hopelessly lost and outnumbered. What can they possibly do in such a war? It really is great. Just a fantastic look. And then, looking at Titans and how they get to operate inside the cockpit, seeing the Moderati and the Princeps and those relationships between them, along with the crews and all of that, and how different Titan legions sort of work with their pilots and all of that, is really, really interesting. For me, we just get such a nice deep look at both how the Titans sort of influence the world around them, and indeed how the Titans themselves actually work. And so what changes about our main characters? Well, like I said, there's no one true main character within this story. It's showing a bunch of different sort of people trying to survive in the world. And I think the thing that changes about most of them is how they go about surviving and how their sort of looks on, am I going to get out of this alive? Can I do something that matters? Can I just get home to my family? Can I just do this last thing? Am I scared? Am I not scared? Am I going to get some courage? All of those things sort of change in various different ways about the characters. Some hold true to their beliefs the whole way out. Some gain confidence and gain leadership. Some definitely fall apart. And some do some heroic deeds at the end. And some definitely sort of fall off a cliff. And stories are wrapped up in a variety of different ways, as this might suggest. And truth be told, some are wrapped up better than others. I think the ending for me was definitely rewarding with Callie. I really enjoyed how that one ended. I thought that gave some really good ending to it. There were other really good endings to some stories, where some of them I felt were left hanging a tiny little bit with a little bit more wanting. But all in all, a really solid, fun read. This really did show just how much the Titan War affected these people, which is exactly what you want from this book. And so, who would like this book? I think it's pretty obvious who would like this book. If you're a Legio Titanica or a Mechanicus fan, then this is a book for you. Especially with the two Knight books, the Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights books coming out soon. This is a great way to get excited and get some inspiration maybe for building some narrative and some ideas of who pilots your Knights around on the tabletop. I think this really does a great job at showing. Also, if you play Adeptus Titanicus, this is a great look at seeing how that sort of world exists for you playing that particular game. I really want to get into Adeptus Titanicus reading this book. I'd love to play a game of Titanicus. If I find that starter set, I'll try and get it. If you'd like to see Titanicus on the channel, let us know in the comments below, because we'll try and get it. But yeah, this was just a ton of fun to read. Really got me excited. I one day would love to have my own Titan on the channel. Even just a Warhound would be amazing. This book really does get you pumped to read them. And so, in summary, a wide and varied look into an engine war is what this book is. The book goes to great lengths to give you both a sense of the power of the Titans and the hopelessness for those on the ground floor. Wide and varied storylines mean potentially you may be drawn to different characters more than some in parts. And this may mean that there are parts of the book you might not enjoy as much. For me, I don't think any of the characters were boring in any way. There were definitely ones I wanted to read more about more than others, without a doubt. And that is the case in any book where there are so many characters added in. But by giving us so many characters in so many different places across the world, we were able to get the best possible look at an engine war, which I think is good, because that's exactly what this book set out to do. For me, this is trying to show you what an engine war looks like in its fullest scale, and it without a doubt does that. For me, this was a solid 7 out of 10 book, but if you're looking at something that makes you get excited for an engine war and wants to show you an engine war, it's 10 out of 10 for that. 7 out of 10, probably from my personal enjoyment, but for what it's trying to do, without a doubt, 10 out of 10, because it does do a fantastic job of showing. This was really fun for me to go back and have another listen to, without a doubt. I definitely remember same characters I felt attached to the first time. I remembered Callie from my first read of this book, which was awesome. It's probably why she stuck with me more the second time, because I knew the character. Maybe that's a reason she stuck with me more than others, because she was the one that originally stuck with me more. But yeah, this was really, really fun. I really enjoyed taking a book that I read so long ago and having a re-listen. I want to do more of these ones where I re-listen. There's been a lot of older books popping up. Like I remember Hell's Reach popped up the other day. So maybe we'll do more retro ones, as well as trying to do new Black Library reviews on the channel. Would people like to see that? Let us know down in the comments below if you've read this before or listened to it recently. Let us know what you thought down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And leave a comment down below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either via Patreon or YouTube members, and both of those are linked again down in the video's description. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, I'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a special shout out to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Locklorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Ariana Airwoods, and Sean Scott. Lastly, a special thanks first of all to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for our channel, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing Discord server background work for us. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.